Pre-bid walkthroughs don't make projects cheaper, they make them honest. If you've ever walked into a pre-bid walkthrough and felt the silence in the room, that silence isn't professionalism, it's uncertainty. And uncertainty is exactly what gets baked into bids. So my name is Dave. I'm with Wilson & Company General Contractors, one of the co-hosts of the Blueprints to Punchlist podcast. And today we're going to talk about the pre-bid walkthrough. We're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what some of these these walkthroughs look like from our perspective that I've seen in the past. And it really, most recently had a walkthrough where this where this had come up and everybody just kind of showed up. I don't know if you've had the same experience, but I'm guessing if you're a sub, a GC, owner, architect, or anyone involved around construction, that you have been on a pre-bid walkthrough that kind of made your head scratch after you left, and maybe you left with more questions than answers that you were hoping for. So I guess let's dive in. Let's dive into the ugly first. And the ugly, in my opinion, is that competitive silence and the side conversations that happen. Typically, the scenario is that people start showing up about 15, 20 minutes early. Then they start forming this little circle, and some people introduce themselves, some just say hello, some are not sure if they should introduce themselves because they don't know the etiquette. And so, again, from the get-go, I think it just sets a bad example that, yes, some people that show up, they don't want their subs to share the numbers. And I think it's still up to the subs to, if they show up, it's okay if somebody said, "Hey, I'm with another company. I don't want, I'm just not gonna, we'll only deal with the one contractor." Totally okay, totally cool, right? It's to get everybody's input and get a thorough understanding of what the site conditions are. So just avoiding that kind of a silence and from the get-go, and the tipping competitors part off. I always just find that to be, and not professional, I guess. We're all there for the same reason. We all want to win a project, and we all want to do well, but we all know that only one GC and one electrician and one flooring guy and so there's only one sub. So let's create that harmony where we can make sure we're really being the most competitive that we can be. So the bad of the walkthroughs that I've seen is just being unprepared for the walkthrough period. I've had scenarios where the lockbox that was supposed to be on the door is not there, or the key doesn't work, so can't get into the space. There's no access to the roof or the electrical room or the mechanical closet. So all these little different pieces that we want to know when we show up to a pre-bid walkthrough are just not available. And so it almost feels like a waste of time driving out there. Or often it's an hour or two or more that we have to go to get to these projects. So again, just kind of having those avoidable things. Another issue that often comes up is incomplete drawings, and then not having the answers or not having the clarity around the questions that will often lead to that defensive pricing, and really even good subs just disengaging because of the clarity that's missing from the overall walkthrough there. So just being ready to answer questions as a host to one of these walkthroughs. And then so what does good look like, right? We've gone through the bad and the ugly. I think the good walkthrough, or some of the best ones I've been on, is where there's a clear leadership that creates the clarity around the expectations of the walkthrough. So it's explaining why we're all there, what's in the scope, what is still open, having drawings to hand out. It's crazy, but not everybody shows up with a set of drawings to look at. So having that maybe as a backup, or willing to share the plans. Another one is what decisions are still pending? What are on the owner side or the owner's rep side? Like, what are some of those things that we still have to make sure we get clarity on before we finalize that? And one other thing that I think leads to a great walkthrough is the space that's created to ask questions. Too often there's people who are just not willing, or they're afraid to speak up and ask their questions because they might be judged on the question that they have. But I think the reality is that if one person is thinking it, then there is at least one other person, maybe even everyone out there, who you ask a question about something and just see everybody nodding their head, and it creates that harmony, and again, that open conversation that leads to really you get rid of those assumptions. The bids all of a sudden get tighter, and you get a better number. So I think that clarity is huge for lowering the costs and removing the guesswork from the bids. And it all starts with having a good walkthrough to get the information that we're looking for, and make sure that they're captured ahead of time instead of you just left as assumptions. So reducing. So really, the pre-bid walkthrough is a risk management tool if used properly, because it eliminates the assumptions, reduces contingencies, and really, most importantly, reduces change orders that nobody wants. The subs don't want to give, and the owners don't want to receive. If having that clarity, again, I keep using that word, but having that clarity really helps to make sure that it is a clear and solid bid. So with that said, what's the best or worst pre-bid walkthrough that you've ever been part of? I'd love to hear in the comments, or just shoot me a DM. And if you want more real world conversations like this around construction, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video.